Hello everyone. So the results are in. We did these 13 hot sauces on 4 different types of cuisines to see which one was the most versatile. And we have the final results here. So in part 1, where we did pizza and chili, the first place winner was El Yucateco with an 8.7. Second place was Tabasco with an 8.6. For part 2, where we did Mexican food, we have a two-way tie for first place. It's the Tabasco and the Hoi Fong Sriracha, with both at an 8.7. Tabasco doing very well so far. For part 3, where we did Chinese food, first place Hoi Fong Sriracha with a 9.0. That's actually the highest score of all the series. And tied for second place, we have the Sambal Oleg and El Yucateco with an 8.3. And so the overall winner for all of those is actually a three-way tie. If you watch the full series, you could probably guess which 3 they are. So tied for first place at an 8.3, we have actually 1 from each category. From the Southeast Asian sauces, it's the Hoi Fong brand Sriracha. From the Mexican style hot sauces, it's the El Yucateco. And from the Louisiana style hot sauces, it's the Tabasco. So, I guess bottom line, all of these sauces can be pretty versatile. They go well with a variety of different foods. As you can see, we have 1 winner in each category that tied for first, but I don't want to leave it as a tie. So on my own now, I'm gonna do a quick tiebreaker on my mama's homemade cornbread. So let's start with the Tabasco on this one. Give it a nice splash of Tabasco on number 1. Number 2, El Yucateco, right next door. And the Sriracha on the last one. I decided to go with the cornbread because it's not necessarily what you would think of as something that you would put hot sauce on, but I'm actually a big fan of hot sauce on cornbread. It's not savory like everything else we had, it's sweeter, so I think this will really put its versatility to the test. So, first up, Tabasco, cornbread. Okay. Pretty good. Not quite spicy enough to hold up to the sweetness of the cornbread. I'm getting very little heat, but a little splash of acidity was nice to kind of counterbalance to the richness of the cornbread. And that pepper flavor definitely comes through. That aged Tabasco flavor definitely comes through. Right. Cleanse my palate a little. Next, El Yucateco. Not as good. Tabasco's better so far. This one has a lot of smoky, savory notes, spices that it uses. Very much more geared towards savory foods. Did not work well in the sweet on the cornbread. All right, last up, Hoi Fong Sriracha. It's an interesting one. At first, the garlic flavor came very much up front and did not really jive well with the cornbread. But pretty quickly, the garlic flavor faded, and then the sweetness that's already in the Sriracha combined with the sweetness of the cornbread actually worked pretty well. Based on the cornbread as the tiebreaker, I'd say this is third place, second place, and surprisingly, Tabasco in first place. Now, going into this whole thing, if I had to guess, I would have guessed probably these three. I hadn't tried all these sauces previously, but I had tried these three, and I know I liked all three of them. But I would have guessed that this would have been first place hands down, probably the second, and then probably Tabasco third. And doing these and doing this full series, I've learned to appreciate Tabasco a lot more than I used to. Do wish it was a little spicier, but it's definitely much more complex and flavorful than the other Louisiana style hot sauces. This kind of performed as expected, goes pretty good on everything. I really did enjoy that. But surprisingly, came out of this, like I said, with a new appreciation for Tabasco. Yeah, I don't know if you're not going to be putting hot sauces on cornbread, this last part's probably irrelevant to you. But these three, I think, solid choices for any type of food that you may choose to pair it with. That's that. If you have any questions, comments, would love to hear your thoughts on these hot sauces in the comments. Please share. If you enjoyed this video or this series, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Have a great night.
I feel like the one that I thought was most interesting was this one. The flavor was so interesting in the Louisiana one. I think it always rated a little lower because you didn't sense the heat, which is what you want in a hot sauce.
Yeah.
The flavor is so good. And like, yeah, these three were not surprising at all.
Yeah. No, that is true. Like, and I've said it on a few of the videos. If this one was hotter, I would like this a lot more.
Yeah.
And I do have some pure capsaicin crystals that I think I'm gonna
heat it up,
dissolve in this. And so the pure capsaicin crystals you use very, very sparingly. But what the benefit of that is it increases the heat level but doesn't change the flavor whatsoever. So I do think that this could do really well if it was a little hotter. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a great point. This had a very nice flavor profile. I don't know if the data would confirm that or not, but if I had to choose a fourth place, just kind of experiencing these past few weeks as we tried these, I would give this the fourth place.